Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to Navigating Love's Challenges. Today we're navigating technical challenges. Uh, I don't know how many people are going to relate to this, but have you ever gone and like built something and made it like, you're sitting back going, this is going to be amazing, and then I send out the wrong link to come to this wonderful program that we have created for you, and nobody shows up until you start getting emails, and then you're like, oh, what happened? So now I'm doing tech support, right, the whole time. Now Lori, who's normally with me right at my side, just ran into the other room to send an email to everybody that is not here right now, and hopefully we'll have some more people trickle in. Right now we have some of our dear friends, Lauren and Christine, and I think there was one other that I sent an email to, also letting them know, hey, this is what's going on. But here we are. So welcome everybody. I'm so excited that you're here. This has been a program that we've been working on for the last year. In fact, we've been doing a lot here. So I'm going to run through what is it that we're going to talk about today. Today's web class, you're going to learn about what actually works. We're going to give you 3 secrets, what actually works in relationship, what sabotages love, and how to create the love you deserve. Okay. And so as we go through this, I want to first point out who's this for. So this is really for people who are couples and people who want to heal, reconnect. They want to reignite their passion, and maybe even find somebody for the very first time. We found that singles love this work because it helps them fix their picker. That's Lori's term. It helps them fix their picker. Try to say that 10 times fast. Who this is not for is people that are just not committed to doing the work, to making a change and really creating something for themselves in the world of love. So we're really excited that you're here because, honestly, that's why you're here. I want you to wait until the end. If you stay until the end, we're going to be giving you a free gift, something we've been working on as well, and very excited about this because I think it's going to enhance your life in ways that without it would not be so enhanced. One of the things I want to make sure that you do is be fully present. Okay. So you're going to need to turn off your cell phones, get rid of your notifications, throw the kids out and the pets out, and also turn off your Xbox. There's usually people on their Xbox. So what qualifies us to teach this? Well, if you're looking at this picture, I love this picture. This is the first time Lori and I ever actually taught together. It was 2018, and we were in Mexico in a little spot kind of in between Tulum and what was the other place? Anyway, we're in Mexico, and for the very first time, I'd never been to a Tantra festival before. I taught many times, but I'd never been to a Tantra festival before. So my very first Tantra festival, I got to teach at, which is kind of cool. And what happened to us was the headliners, you may know them, they're dear friends, Monique and Peter, Monique Darling and Peter Peterson. They were coming in from another country, I forget where, and they were so wiped out that they decided they were going to skip the Tantra Festival and not teach. So Lori and I found ourselves being the headliners. My very first time at a Tantra Festival was so wild. I got to teach. Now, does that qualify me to teach? Not necessarily, but the many years as a speaker and a teacher and doing other things, I think has. And of course, Laurie Handlers is definitely qualified to teach this. So who are Laurie Handlers and Michael Gibson? Normally when Laurie is sitting right next to me, she gets to tell this part, but I love to do this part. This is where we introduce each other. And so how I like to introduce Laurie is this way. Laurie is, number one, she is my best friend, the most extraordinary woman I've ever met. And I got to tell you, she has accomplished amazing things. She's a two-time best-selling author. She's written the series called Sex and Happiness, The Tantric Laws of Intimacy. That's her first book. And then her second book is Sex and Happiness, It Gets Better with Age. The third book is coming. It's called Sex and Happiness for Extraordinary Lovers. It's a couples book, but we're getting ready to finish and publish. And so we're excited about that. Hopefully we'll be co-writer, what is that called? Best-selling co-writer authors together. She's also a filmmaker. She has produced and starred in 3 films that have all won awards in film festivals around the world. She's quite accomplished in that sense. She's been in Tantra, in the world of Tantra, for well over 25 years. She's been a teacher for well over 30. She used to teach kids in middle school back in DC, and so she loves the world of teaching and creating, and also she happens to be the queen of emotional release and the general of the sexual revolution. Soon we're going to relabel her the goddess of truth or something like that, the goddess of love. But she's the queen and the general at the same time. And so I'd like you to welcome my beloved Mrs. Laurie Handlers. She's not here right now because she's sending emails. But she is all those things to me. And she's also an extraordinary lover. Now, how she normally, I'm going to introduce myself. So I'm Michael Gibson. I was a former network engineer. I was in that business for about 18 years. And people are like, what's that? And it's like, well, you know how the internet works? Well, neither do I. But I worked on those routers and switches and firewalls and computers. That was my job. I had to design them and I had to implement them. And I went all over the country doing that. I was pretty, I'm a nerd. You know, if you don't know what a nerd looks like. And I did that for a long time until one day I just got tired of it. And actually, Laurie came when we started dating. She said to me one day, she said, you know, we had made love, and she was really like, wow, that was amazing. And I was like, well, thank you. You know, and she says, you should really teach this. And I said, well, okay. And she asked me, she said, where did you learn to touch a woman like that? Now, Laurie told me she'd had a number of really what she would call tantric men in her life that had done the work. They could breathe, they could do all the things, but she said no man had ever touched her like that. And she asked me, where did you learn to touch a woman like that? And I said, I Googled it. Because I did. Again, I'm a network nerd, but then I turned into a sex geek. And it was through Laurie that I started to learn the fascinating world of Tantra and sacred sexuality. And she did, in fact, disrupt my life. In fact, on our first go around, she told me, I asked her, I said, you know, could we date? And she said, ta-da! Please, everybody, welcome my lovely wife.
I couldn't do it.
She couldn't make it happen.
I couldn't. I had to do it one at a time. I would be there for 2 hours.
Get it. Well, okay. So I just finished telling our story. Like I just introduced you.
Yes.
And I just introduced me.
Very good.
I did it as best as I think I could.
Okay.
And you do a better job than I do. But anyway, this is Laurie. And so as I said, I became a teacher of Tantra, and that was about 11 years ago that we started to make that transition.
Yeah.
So that's who we are. Let's see here. So one of the things that
I have egg on my face now too.
Oh, cut it out. This is all my fault. So one of the things that we've been able to do is become international facilitators. We have gone around the world, literally, teaching the work that we do. We've been at Tantra festivals for others. Some of our friends, like James Stevenson and Taina Excel and others, including Monique and Peter and others, we've gone and facilitated with them and for them as guest speakers.
And Edward Bitton and Ananda Ahmed Angelo and Dushan over in Montenegro.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about him. The Ada Festival. So we've been all over the place. Some of the pictures that you're seeing here are us at work, doing what we love to do, and speaking with just an amazing group of human beings. And so,
all interested in being in love.
Absolutely.
Like all of that, nobody has figured out how to be in relationships. So they flock to see what do we have, what are we speaking about that could maybe help.
Right. And so imagine if you had an extraordinary love life. Now, if you already have an extraordinary love life, I'm so excited for you. And I want to hear from you.
And we'd like to keep it that way.
That's right.
It doesn't last unless you have tools.
That's right. That's right. And so inside of that, one of the best quotes. Can you want to do the quote?
Sure.
It's
Oh, well, I don't need to read this. I know this quote. This is my favorite quote in the whole world. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. The Beatles, evidently Paul McCartney wrote that. I've quoted that everywhere in my life. When people ask me what's my favorite quote, I always say that, and then Michael shows up with it on the slide. So I didn't need to read it.
Yeah, you didn't. But I put it there for me.
The love you take is equal to the love you make. If you're into making love, I don't mean sexually making love, but making love with people, then you get lots of love back. And if you can continue that with a partner, it's something, because it's easy to get triggered by partners.
It is. So, in fact, that leads us to our next slide, because one of the things that Laurie and I often say is couples are an endangered species. And if you look at the divorce rates today, so first marriage, second marriage, third marriage, the statistics are astounding. The first marriages end around 40 to 45%.
No, 52, I thought.
I actually did the research.
Now it's lower.
It's been going down. But there's a reason for that. I'm going to get to that. So currently, it's around 45% of first marriages end in divorce. Second marriages, it's still pretty high. It's around 67%. And third marriages are just tanking. There's
76.
70 to 73% now. And that's just recently. But here's the problem. When you think about first marriages, the rate of marriage now has gone down from, I think it was, for men, it's gone down 20%, and women as well, 20% in the last 8 years. So that means that men and women are not marrying anymore. They're not getting married anymore. And that changes things when you start to look at the rate, because even though the rate has gone down, well, so have marriages. And so that sort of like going from a big pond into a little puddle. And that can be a real problem, right? I mean, think about it. So if you look at what this tells us, fewer people are choosing marriage in the first place. And for those who do, nearly half won't make it. And by the second or third try, the odds of success drop even lower. So this is why we say couples are an endangered species.
And those are the ones who bother to get married.
Oh, gosh, we can't even get into that.
We don't know about the statistics for people who don't.
We don't have statistics on those who don't get married. So it's difficult. Couples are definitely in the situation of being an endangered species. Are we like close enough together? I want to make sure that we are. Okay,
She's
good.
saying yes.
Good.
You are hired.
I'm liking you a lot. I don't know you, Christine, but I'm liking you a lot.
Laurie knows me.
I've known for years.
All right, so what else? Like, what have you tried? What everybody has tried? Everybody has tried all the things, right? So we've probably done therapy, couples conferences, maybe books, coaching,
self-help books,
TikToks. Now people are doing TikTok to get dating and wedding advice, or right. And I don't know how good TikTok is doing at this point because I don't have it. But I see it on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, some of these guys are actually pretty smart. But the question is, like, are they in your life? Because it's difficult for them to really know what you're going through. So what we do isn't therapy. What we do, it's not like a communications course. It's not just another retreat where you get together and you do a couple of things. It's a bold new way of loving. Like, it changes. It's a new category for relationship transformation. We've done some things here that have changed the way we love each other. And we're going to tell you that whole story. because it's a pretty good one. So this is your new opportunity to live a life where seduction is a team sport, passion is intentional, and connection is a daily ritual.
That's pretty good.
Like that? I wrote that.
I get it.
Yeah, I wrote that.
Good job.
So why is making up so hard to do?
Because everybody wants to be right.
Oh, we're done. That's the whole thing. No, we're not done. So, the interesting thing here is we didn't create this program, Extraordinary Lovers Experience. We didn't create it because we were struggling and all that. We created the workshop because something was right in our relationship. Like we would go out to lunch with people or we'd go out to dinner with people.
Oh my God. And we would say they should pay us or take us to lunch because all they do is argue when we're with them and we end up coaching them. And I said, why did we pay for lunch? Like they should have paid for lunch. They should have done something because we've experienced couples be totally obnoxious in front of us with no consent. Like they didn't ask us, is it okay if we start to work out our issues with you? They would just do it. And I guess they expected that we also would do it.
Right.
Like we would start keeping score on each other, or we would start making, correcting each other's sentences or whatever. Like, I don't know how they felt like they had permission to do that. And we would be like, let's get out of here.
We're rolling our eyes the whole time thinking, oh boy.
That was a terrible meal.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was a terrible date.
Yeah. So that's what stood out to us. It was how different our relationship is. And it felt different compared to anything else we'd been around. Like it's not just with people, but in our own world, like in our own lives. Our relationship changed, like everything. And so that's when the light bulb went off that something was different.
Well, I've had about 100 relationships because I've never been married until now. And he had a couple. He had a marriage and he also had a few dating girlfriends, whatever. And we just kept saying to ourselves, what is different about us? How come we keep getting through it and returning to love? Maybe we should write this down and put it together.
So that's really what we did. But so after a time, we got together, but then after we became a couple, we found out that there is no such thing as happily ever after, right? So, Laurie, you want to talk about Disney?
Yeah, Walt Disney is my pet peeve. Like I could rant about Walt Disney for days. I believed when I was a little girl that I would show up in a crinoline dress, like it would have crinolines underneath. It would be some kind of taffeta or whatever. And that some prince would come and find one foot that didn't have a shoe. He would slip the shoe onto my foot and then we would ride off into the sunset on his horse and live happily ever after. I believe that. I don't know one girl that doesn't believe that. I don't care what language she speaks. I've asked about it in every country I've been in, which is about 40 countries. I've asked them, do you have Walt Disney Cinderella here? And they go, yes. They all know about it. And every guy that I know, I'm talking about heterosexual, but actually people who are gay or gender bending, they have fallen for the same stuff. And they all think they're going to rescue someone from their life and ride them off on a horse. And but it doesn't last because men have not been taught to be Prince Charming. They just think they are. And women have not been taught to, well, most women I know don't want rescuing. I just watched an old episode of Sex in the City, and that was the theme of it. Do I want to be rescued? Carrie Bradshaw said to herself, and she wrote a column about it. Do I need to be rescued from my life? Actually, my life is pretty good. Why do I want to be rescued? I want a relationship that works. And I don't want a prince. I want a king.
Right. Wow.
And I want to get Walt Disney's influence out of everyone that I know because it sets everything up for failure.
Yeah.
There's no happily ever after without tools.
Yeah, and I have to tell you that it wasn't all roses for us in the very beginning. We broke up for about 6 months. And while we were apart, we discovered how much we loved each other. We had fallen in love. And the separation brought us back together. But when we got back together, we knew that it wasn't going to just magically happen. I didn't have a glass slipper. I don't have a horse. You know what I'm saying? So we decided that we were going to have to create this. And that's what we did. And so then we created something called the Extraordinary Lovers. That's when it was born. Not out of pain, but out of a commitment to love. So I wanted a goddess. She wanted a king. And this is how we met.
Well, I already knew I was a goddess, but I knew I had to like mold you into a king. You, because you,
Ding.
because you said, don't try to have a relationship with me. I'm not really that good at it.
It's true.
And that was very true, actually. That was, you were telling the truth. And I actually don't know any man who, if he was telling the truth, wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. And, your favorite teacher talks about women making men into frogs.
Right.
Like, instead of kissing the frog and he turns out to be a prince, like, we expect them to be frogs. And so we teach them how to frog.
She would kiss the prince, and he'd turn into a frog. She called herself a frog farmer. How many of you know who Alison Armstrong is?
No.
She is amazing. I highly recommend you find her online. So how we met was I was invited to
a clothing optional dance party in Phoenix, Arizona.
Now, I didn't get naked, and neither did she. Okay. There was someone else doing that. But I walk up to find this lovely woman standing at a counter with a bunch of wine on it. And so we start talking about the wine. Oh, I like this. You like this. And so we had this short conversation. Said our goodbyes.
We weren't attracted to each other.
We walked away from each other.
I actually went to that party with someone Christine knows. I brought Bruce Brimacombe to that party because I didn't want to go to that party alone because I thought some exes of mine would be there. And little did I know I would meet Michael and I would eventually marry him. So
the One Taste event was set up so that they were bringing this organization or this methodology to Phoenix, and Laurie was helping them. So I walk in, and there again, there's Laurie sitting on the front row right in front of me. And I go, oh, I remember you. Hi, how are you? It's good to see you again, that kind of thing. We're pleasant. And then they do this thing where they put people on a chair, and they call it the hot seat, and they ask you really hard questions. And I volunteered. So I got up there first, and they asked me the question. They said,
if you could have anything, what do you want?
And I said, well, I believe there's a goddess in every woman. And that's who I want to meet.
And I said, have you told anyone?
Nope.
And he said, no. And I had a reaction in my body. You could say it came from the bottom up. Mm-hmm. And I said, in my mind, I said, I'm not letting this guy out of here. I wasn't attracted to him before, but he just said the right thing. So I should give this a chance. So I blocked his exit. It was at the Changing Hands bookstore in downtown Phoenix, and I said, in Central Phoenix, and I said, hi, you know that glass of wine we talked about at that party? We should have that now. And he looked at me and he said, really, why? And I said, because I am the goddess. And what you said made me a little wet. And he just went, yep, let's have that glass of wine right now. He was just like that. And we went, and Changing Hands has a wine bar and a bookstore. So we went into the wine bar and we vetted each other. Mm-hmm. Most times people don't vet each other properly enough. But I basically said, what have you spent money on in terms of your own personal growth?
Listen up, singles.
And he said to me, I did the Landmark Forum, I did Sai seminars, I studied with Alison Armstrong, I've taken a class in Tantra massage. I said, that's not Tantra. And then I said to him, but I'm doing a class in 2 weeks. You should come to it. And you'll see what Tantra actually is. And he said, okay. And then he asked me what I had done. And I told him all the things I had done, invested in myself. Mm-hmm. And then he said to me, could we date?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I think we could date. I couldn't even believe this was happening. And I said, I have a Surgeon General's warning, like a package of cigarettes. I will disrupt your life. And he said, bet, game on, let's date. And so that's how we began.
And
But it was telling the truth. Like, we weren't pretending to be someone we weren't. We weren't saying things like trying to be nice to each other, like in hopes of falling in love. Like, I just said the straight thing because I didn't have a lot of time to waste.
Right.
As far as I was concerned, I just was like, if this is going to be, let's give it a shot. And let's be really honest about it. Let's not try to hold back.
Yeah. Well, so we get together and things are going along. And one day I make a huge mistake. So I asked Lori, I said, hey, you want to get on a call? She was going to a thing. And
I was going to an evening meeting about biohacking.
And she was excited. She calls me up. She's all lit up from the evening. She's like, oh, wow, hey. And I was texting somebody and I was busy. I just wasn't present. And she got angry. And
I said, you told me to call you and now you're not even present to the call. So I'm a big girl. I know how to handle my emotions. I'm hanging up and I'll speak to you when you're present. And I just hung the phone up. And then I went home and I did emotional release techniques, which you both know. And I just released the emotion and I thought, okay, this guy, whatever. He told me to call him, but he's not present.
Well, I was blown away. I was like, she hung up on me. And truth is, she was right. Like, she was completely right to do that. But this is how I discovered the secret to being in love. So I call her up the next morning, 10 a.m. And I'm like, hey, listen, I need to let you know, I'm so sorry that I wasn't emotionally available last night.
And I said, who trained you? No man has ever said that to me in my entire life. Called me up and took responsibility for not being present. Who trained you? And he goes, Allison Armstrong. And I go, you did really good. You should call her up and tell her that you as a man just took responsibility for not being present.
Yeah. So there it was. I was like, okay, I got this kind of figured out. I can definitely take responsibility and also make an apology. And so it made the difference. But if your relationship is struggling and you've tried it all, there could be a better way, right? And so as Lori and I began to develop the Extraordinary Lovers work, we created something called the Extraordinary Lovers Method. And this method is really, really simple. We didn't know it at the time that we were creating this method, but we discovered it just like as if you were kind of digging for gold, right? Like you're moving all this dirt and everything out. So a lot of our lives was doing that. And then we came together almost magically, and here we are. And so the first thing that we discovered was this thing called the 3 pillars of love. And the reason I make that distinction is because we found out that love is only real when it's either expressed or experienced or received. And if you think about it, you could say you love somebody, but if they don't feel it, is it landing? Is it love that can be demonstrated? And that's the thing that makes the difference. And by the way, love is driven by this wonderful thing we call oxytocin. How many of you love oxytocin? Right? Extraordinary lovers are those who produce oxytocin in another
on purpose.
On purpose. It's intentional.
Like, I have a choice. I could fight. I could make him wrong. I could be mad about something, or I could choose to give him oxytocin and then calmly point out something.
So we started asking the question, what makes extraordinary love extraordinary, right? What are the things that could really, truly cause a person to express extraordinary love? And the first thing we discovered was that there needs to be self-love. Like, that's the first thing, the love of self. It's what overflows into any other relationship. So we began to work on that, like really getting clear on what it was that made us feel love. And we discussed it. We were like, okay, so what are your 5 love languages, right? Like, we use the stuff that's already been out there. And we discovered some things that helped us to then really, truly give that kind of love to one another. But then we discovered, hey, what about me? I need love too. And I need to give it to myself first.
Yes, without a full well, it's very difficult to say, to even for another person to even feel loved by someone who's empty.
You say that you can't draw water out of an empty well.
Can't.
Yeah. So that's the piece that moves into the love of another or partner love. So once you have the self-love in play, then you can then move into partner love, and it's natural. It's almost duh. Of course I'm going to love my person more. Well, what happens when you have this amazing partner love and it's got overflow into something? And that's what we call love that manifests. And when we talk about love that manifests, it's not like, oh, they have a loving relationship, it's so wonderful. No, what we mean is love that actually creates something in the world. So this is what we mean by, this is how we came across, or how we developed the Extraordinary Lovers method and the Extraordinary Lovers work. So it's manifesting right now because of the love that we have for each other.
I have to interrupt you for a second. Mm-hmm. I know that you were sweating before. Mm-hmm. Would it be okay if I turned off that fan?
Yeah.
I'm freezing.
I can, yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks.
Go ahead. Run. Careful. Laurie sometimes gets cold. And I got fans everywhere. Okay. So then something wonderful happened. Like, we've been doing this for quite some time, and we've been living this core teachings that we developed. And with the Extraordinary Lovers method, really the core of it was the ability to return to love. And that's when everything began to change. So we became more confident. We became more deeply connected. We started seeing our relationship had this real future behind it. And over time, our love evolved. And then one day I asked Laurie to marry me. And
it was shocking.
Before that, we had been taking this Extraordinary Lovers thing really around the world. We've gone, like we said, we've been to Berlin, we've been to Italy, we've been to all over the United States, and we have been doing this. But as it evolved, we moved into this thing we now call marriage. And for Laurie, it was her first time. So that's the Extraordinary Lovers sheet is. This is my second time, my last time. I love marriage. I just don't like the divorce part. So what came next blew our minds. We got married. You're looking at this, the picture on the left is us celebrating right after we gave our vows and we were, declared husband and wife. And our reception was really incredible. We had about 60 friends and people whose lives we'd made a difference for. And Laurie's friend, Judy Koryansky.
Yeah, Dr. Judy.
She was there. And she asked you a question. She was like, Laurie.
She said, she's very funny how she talks. She said, Laurie, what are you up to now? You're not teaching Tantra, just Tantra? And I said, no, we're doing couples work. And she said, look, tell me about it. And I said, okay, you see that couple over there? We saved their marriage. Oh, you see that couple over there? They got married because of us. Oh, you see that couple over there? They've been married for years, and we saved their marriage. Oh, you see that couple over there? And it didn't matter. Some of them were like monogamous couples, and some of them were poly couples, and some of them were like very mixed gendery kind of couples. And everywhere we looked, like almost everybody that celebrated with us, we had something to do with their relationship, being still together and being in a flow.
Yeah.
With each other. I mean, there were people when we met them, they were on the brink of divorce. There was like no way they could even get a sentence out. And here they were celebrating with us, and they were together, and they were very in love. So
yeah, and as she's doing this, I'm in tears. I'm just like, wow, looking around going, this is the impact. This is what happens when, a couple can come together and not just have a good, loving relationship, but actually make a difference in the world.
Yeah.
And so not long after that, we ended up in the second, if you look on the right, you see this picture. This is Laurie and I hosting for the very first time our own Tantra festival, or a Tantra festival. And we had got called up, and we had been to this same Tantra festival in Mexico probably 3 times, but this time we were hosting it. And we had a staff, like we had other teachers, we had, people that were body workers and organizer. We had the venue staff, everybody. It was really incredible. We had a full schedule. lots of moving parts. There were major challenges that showed up, and Laurie and I just handled it. And at the end of the event,
all the teachers,
the presenters came, the teachers, the participants came up to us and they said, you know what? This is the smoothest festival,
least drama, no drama
we've ever been to. And they were like, you guys held space like
we've never seen before.
It was incredible. And Laurie and I were so moved by that. And it was like, well, maybe that has something to do with what we do as couples. Like anytime we had something come up during the festival, we dealt with it. We went right for it and we handled it. And so today, many of our students, like they're out there doing retreats. They're coaching couples. They're involved, and they're also taking our extraordinary lovers message to the world. So we're not just teaching a method here. We're really here building a movement. And we believe with everything in us that couples are they're not meant to suffer, right? They're not meant to go extinct, that they're meant to thrive, and we're here to help that happen. We want to make couples cool again. All right. We're creating a global movement, and we have worked with newlyweds, couples who have, like, they've spent 50 years together or more.
Oh, yeah.
We've had polyamorous students, as Laurie mentioned. We've also had singles looking for love. But the one that really gets me is we've had couples that were ending their relationships.
And they came to us anyway because they felt like they could have a conscious ending with us, with a peaceful, amicable, loving way of separating. Like they realized they just weren't for each other.
Yeah. And when you can separate that way and still have love for one another, it takes off it takes the trauma out of the
Actually,
equation.
One of those people came to end a relationship and then came back to do the course again. He wanted to get it again because he wants to be in love again.
Yeah. So people everywhere, we notice this everywhere we go. We've been to all these different countries, I think 7 different countries on 3 continents. And we've noticed that people everywhere really want the same thing, and that's deeper connection. They want to be connected and also in a committed situation, most of them, but they just don't know where to find it. And I would say that it's not something that you find, it's what you create. Yeah. So that's why we created the Extraordinary Lovers Method. And it works anywhere in the world because it breaks that universal language of love, healing, and presence. We have literally invested 40 plus years and over $100,000 combined doing it the hard way. And because you're here today, you're going to get the easy way. All right. So let's talk about the 3 secrets why relationships fail. So the first secret is why traditional couple counseling fails and what actually works. Secret number 2 will be the phenomena that sabotages every relationship. And secret number 3 is a ritual framework that keeps passion alive, no matter how busy life gets. So the first one is why traditional couples counseling doesn't work, why it fails, and what actually works.
Therapy often focuses on the past, on childhood, on things that happen in early childhood, etc. And we don't focus on that. We're not against it. We just don't think it necessarily works. First of all, by the time a couple gets to therapy, chances are it's pretty much over. And then examining the past doesn't allow them to move to the future. So we look at the now, like what's happening right now. How do we want to be related to? How does each person in the couple want to be related to? And how can they create a future? You could go into therapy and look at your past, but that's not going to necessarily save your coupledom.
That's true. Yeah, traditional counseling is just, it's a lot of talk, but not transformation. They relive trauma without tools. And like Laurie said, the focus is often on the past and not the future. So what we've done is we've changed that. So what we've implemented are 4 practices. Those 4 practices are quite simply the things that keep your relationship moving forward instead of falling back into the past.
So
yeah,
can I talk about? Oh,
sure. Yeah, go ahead.
So the first one is emotional clearing and repair, like getting to it right away. Just you saw us do it right now when this call was failing. Michael did some hand screams and I did too, because like what was coming up for him was like, can only imagine frustration, piss off, feeling guilty and ashamed,
Embarrassment.
anger, embarrassment. And so we don't want to hold on to that. We want to do the emotional release part and repair it as soon as possible. The second thing is embodiment and presence. So we speak to people and teach people about being embodied and being present to what's present.
That's right.
And especially being present to their partner. We also teach people ritual and sacred communication, like how to set up ritual space and have personal and beautiful rituals together, so that you carve that time out for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, intimacy, expansion. I can't read well. So expansion, how to expand your intimacy and keep it going.
Yeah, and all of these contain practices. So each one of these is sort of a category that has practices involved or tools. And the tools are important because when you're dealing with like life in general, it's good to have the tools, but there are some tools that you should have. Like, there are tools that go in the toolbox. Those tools are tools that are like, when you're about to start a new project on the house, you go to the toolbox and you use those tools. There are other tools that go in the tool belt. And those tools are tools we use every single day. Things like the hand screen, right? You both know how to do that. There are other ways that we can bring some of those tools out of the toolbox, but those are the ones that we keep in the tool belt. And then finally, the last part of the Extraordinary Lovers method is the extraordinary partnership that's developed because of the work that we do. We recognize there are 3 pillars of love, and we practice these 4 practices regularly. So we had a couple that came to one of they came to our Santa Fe program, and I'll never forget. Like, the couple said to us after the closing circle, they've been in therapy for a few years, and they were doing weekly sessions and thousands of dollars, endless talking, and they came to the Extraordinary Lovers experience. And by day 2, the husband looks at me and he had tears in his eyes, and he's like, "Man, this is the first time I felt close to my wife in years." He said, "You know what? Like, he said, let me read the quote again. He said, therapy helped us talk, but this helped us feel." And I was blown away by that. And in just 4 days, they learned to clear emotional blocks. They were able to be present with one another. They were able to create rituals and connection that today they're still using. I checked in with them. They're doing great. And so, yeah, I'm excited to be able to share some of this with you. So we talked a little bit about the practices, emotional clearing and repair. Lori already went over some of that. And so what I want to do is I want to take us into secret number 2. And this is important. So secret number 2, it's the phenomena that sabotages every relationship, and it's called the 3 R's. So the 3 R's are resentment, resistance, and revenge. And a lot of people say, love dies, love doesn't die, it gets buried. And it gets buried under these 3 R's. So a lot of people are like, well, we grew apart over time, or it's normal to stop feeling passion over time, or we don't fight anymore, but we also don't connect. We don't have sex. We've met couples that have literally for years, until they came to us, said, yeah, we were in a sexless marriage. Lori has a thing that she saw, was 1989 or 99?
No, 2002.
Oh.
The cover of Newsweek magazine was DINS. Double income, no sex. And the cover of the magazine had one partner with a laptop in their lap in bed, and the other partner with the clicker. What is it called?
The remote
control.
The clicker. That's
the
fine.
Clicker. And that was, it didn't show faces. It just showed like bodies in bed, one with this and one with this. And it said that there was this new phenomenon called DINS, double income, no sex. And that it was a phenomenon sweeping at least the United States. And I saved that article because I said, my work is going to be to counter that.
Yeah. So do you remember being in love? Remember what that's like? I mean, if you're in love now, you know exactly what it feels like. It's juicy, right? I can't wait to see that person again. Where you think about them, you might text them, her, whoever, they. You might, but you feel it like you really. It's like you're in love, and that's actually a place. If you think about the way this bullseye is laid out, you can see that the in love part is at the center of the bullseye. And over time, we find ourselves moving out into other places. The first one, of course, is resentment. So resentment, it has a sensation in the body. So if you think about this, I'm just going to give you a real quick example. Have you ever been somewhere where you're out with a bunch of friends or with people and you're having a great time? It's a party, things are going well, you're enjoying yourself, and then that person walks in and you're like, oh, not them, right? When you have that feeling, could you just take your finger and point where you would say that shows up in your body? Your throat. Yeah, I see you, Lauren. And your heart, maybe. Some people say their belly.
Mine is my
I
belly.
feel it in my belly. Um, that's resentment. It's an actual visceral experience. And what we don't recognize is that when it happens, there's this phenomena that takes place in our body, including in our reticular activating system, your lizard mind, your lizard brain. What happens is we feel this thing and we call it the whoosh. You get a whoosh, right? And the whoosh comes on, and then all of a sudden you're in your lizard brain and things are just like, ah, and you wish you could. Have you ever been the person that walked in the room that got the resentment? Like people are like, oh, what are they doing here? I have, believe me. So yeah,
Not that much.
That's resentment. That's resentment. Resistance is a deeper cut at that. And by the way, resentment occurs typically when you feel like you couldn't speak your truth. And it's local. So you couldn't speak your truth in the moment that it would have made the biggest difference for you to say something. And you just withheld it. And oftentimes we withhold it because we've been trained by the other person that if I say anything, they're going to launch on me, they're going to blow up on me, right? So sometimes that experience is what trained you to then be quiet and to not speak truth.
It also could be the past that trained you, and you're just reliving it.
Yeah, it could be even deeper beyond that experience of that person. It could be mom or dad did that to you, and you're like, oh, I know what happens when you speak your truth to somebody. But resentment stacks up. It's sort of like when you withhold your truth, then it goes into a bucket called resentment, and resentment then builds up, and then it becomes resistance. And resistance is where you feel like you can't be in a loving place with that person anymore. And how resistance feels in the body is sort of like when you're pushing and pulling against someone. It's a visceral experience feeling like, just get away from me. Or that person might be pulling you in and you're resisting that pull. And Lori and I use when we're doing this in person, we actually will grab hands and I'll say, here's the goal. I'm going to try to put the back of my hand on your shoulder and you try to put the back of your hand on my shoulder and then we push. Don't push too hard.
I know, because
we're on rollers. We'll be, but that's what we do. And then the reverse of that is when you pull. So I'm trying to pull and the goal is to try, and it doesn't work. Resistance occurs when you've had enough and you just had enough. The physical experience of it feels like being pushed or pulled. And one of the best ways to come out of resistance is to lean in. So we do this thing that we show, right? We know what the goal is, to place the back of our hands on each other's shoulders. But how do you do that? Well, you just have to lean in. And sometimes leaning in requires just one of you. It doesn't have to be both of you. Just one of you can lean in. So just give it up. The other thing about the 3 R's that Lori loves to talk about is the 4th R, but we'll get to that. The next R is revenge. Left unchallenged, resistance eventually becomes revenge. This is a very dangerous place to be. It can be very expensive. We call it divorce.
And getting somebody back, showing them, I'll show you, I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
It's a terrible place. It feels terrible inside, even though it feels like lots of adrenaline. It still feels terrible inside. It doesn't create anything loving or wonderful, and it really hurts.
Yeah. And you had a friend who experienced this in real life.
Yeah, I always talk about one friend who came home from work one day and everything was gone. The kids, the dog, the furniture, everything in the whole house was empty, gone. So I know that his wife was planning that for months. Like it was a strategy. And he came home and he called me. He just went, "You're not going to believe what I came home to. Nothing." It took him a very long time to recover from that.
Yeah.
Very long.
So it's a sabotage. There's a bit of a like madness comes over us. We stop being who we were in that relationship. And at some point it's almost like this person that I really loved, I hate, and I just want to.
It's like some character in the movies. I always think of that movie that had Glenn Close.
Well, I think there was a movie with I'm trying to remember it, War of the Roses.
Oh yeah,
Have
with
you
Danny
seen it?
DeVito.
Have you seen that
Oh my
one?
God, it was terrible.
Perfect example of what revenge looks like. But then there's a fourth R. We don't have a slide for this, but the fourth R is what?
Righteousness. And that means the person feels good and right about what they're doing, about the revenge that they're seeking on the other person and sicking on the other person.
Yeah.
And they feel right about it, like they feel deserving, like I can do this because this person has been so bad to me.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the person has, and maybe the person hasn't.
Yeah.
Maybe the person doesn't even know.
And the fourth R, you can find it throughout the spectrum of resentment, resistance, and revenge. You find it in each of those levels. It's just being right. Like I'm just right. And what Laurie and I say is, do you want to be right or do you want to be in love? Sometimes that's the hardest choice to make.
It is.
So the question is, well, how do you return to love? Well, first you got to figure out where you're at, right? So are you in love? Are you in resentment? Maybe you're in resistance, or maybe you're in revenge.
If you're in revenge, it's not a good place. That's the place we don't even know how to deal with that.
Well, we do. We actually do. I think we created a program within our program called Relationship Rescue.
And sometimes we can rescue somebody, we can get them off the ledge of revenge.
Yeah.
But it takes something. It takes a lot of work. It's not a good place to be. There's so many places to stop and take a look and see what can happen before that.
Yeah. And what we're going to do next is we're going to give you a tool that you can use to be able to stop yourself at resentment. It's also valuable to use it at resistance. Revenge takes more work, but are you ready for a tool? Yeah? Okay, yeah. Let's give it to you. So this is about the work. We've all been told you got to do the work. This is the work. And this is one of those tools that goes in the tool belt, not the toolbox. All right? It's called the witness. And I'm going to move out of frame here because Laurie's going to take you through how we do this. Okay? Remember the whoosh.
I will. But I'm going to say that after.
Okay.
So what I'd like you to do is just get straight in your chairs and close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing it. Otherwise, just look down. And we're going to start by breathing. So just focus in on your breath, breathing in and out, and take in a little bit more air than normal, and let a little more out than normal. Very good. And take a few more breaths like this. And then as you breathe, keeping being focused on breathing, but also send your awareness down to where you sit, to what's called your first chakra, and just notice what's happening there. Like if you're tight or loose, hot or cold, any feelings that might be you might feel there. Maybe you feel numb in your first chakra. This is your butt cheeks, your anal sphincter, your anus, your tailbone. What is happening around the area where you're sitting? Just get some kind of an idea of what's happening there and see if you could take a snapshot, like just to see what really is happening in my root, in my bottom. This area has to do with safety and survival and family of origin. And so sometimes it's just great to know like what's happening there. Often you've heard the expression, I see red, or I felt so tight, clenched, and that has everything to do with feeling threatened. So see what's happening in yours, take the snapshot. And then we're going to move to the second chakra that's a little bit up. It's the sex area. And just notice what's happening in your sacral chakra. This area has to do with pleasure and pain and cellular memories of pleasure and pain. And so just notice what's happening there. Do you feel tight, loose, hot, cold? Do you feel nothing? Or do you feel something? Maybe you even feel pain there. And in this area, sometimes we're feeling numb there because of things that have happened and memories of pleasure and pain. I used to think that it took one memory of pain and then it could take 10 memories of pleasure to erase the one memory. But I read in Psychology Today that it takes more like 1,000 to erase pain from the cellular memory. It's not equal. Pain is for survival, so we want to always remember, oh, I put my hand on that stove and it burned me. And sometimes our relationships are like that stove that burned us. So just take a snapshot what's happening in your sex area and then let it go. And we're going to move up to the belly, solar plexus, and notice what's happening in your midsection. This section should be kind of free and easy, like where feelings and sensations can move from the bottom to the top and from the top down to the bottom, but sometimes people have a block right in the middle. So notice what's happening in yours. This particular segment of the body, the middle section, has to do with feelings and power. So do feelings freely flow? And empowered, do you feel empowered or do you feel disempowered? How do you normally feel? Take the snapshot of what's happening in your midsection and just record it. And also notice if your mind is saying things to you like you should feel different from how you really feel. Like your mind is trying to maybe override or gaslight you, and just thank it and let it go. And now bring your awareness up to your heart and see if your heart usually feels two different ways. Either weighted down like it has weights on it. Some people feel very heavy in the heart. And in these times that we're living in, a lot of people feel very heavy in the heart based on politics, based on crazy things happening in our world. So does your heart feel heavy or does your heart feel light, like it has wings, like it could fly away? And take a snapshot. Those are usually the two heart feelings. And this area has to do with generosity and compassion and caring about all things, sentient and non-sentient beings. And sometimes people are just weighted down because of what's happening and because they feel so heavy in their heart. So take that snapshot and now move up to the throat. And everyone swallow. And notice when you swallow, if you feel like you have to go clear your throat or cough. And sometimes people are just blocked in their throat. And would be the place where you would speak your truth and not harbor resentment, but be able to talk. And I know that it's difficult sometimes to say what's truly on your mind and be received. So take a snapshot of what's happening in your throat chakra. This is a place where you would share your thoughts, your feelings, your creativity, your ideas, or withhold them. Withholding is not good. It's not good for your health. All right, and now we're going to move up to the third eye, the eyebrow center. And I want you with your eyes closed to see, what do you see? Do you see something? Do you see colors? Do you see shadows or shapes? Or do you see darkness, only darkness, nothing? And it's not either or. Sometimes we see and we see, and sometimes we don't see. It's just dark. Sometimes that you see beyond reality. You might see into the future. This is all present in the third eye. So what do you see? And can you take a picture of that? And then coming up to your crown, which would be an area around and above your head, like as if you had a halo, which you do because your energy extends beyond your body. So, do you feel open in the crown? Do you feel like you are connected to everything there is in the cosmos? Or at least there's a doorway, an opening there? Or do you feel like there's a lid on you or a cloud around your head? Just notice, keep noticing. This is called the witness because you don't have to do anything. You just notice the state of things when we start. And it gives you a chance, with your eyes still closed, with all the snapshots, it gives you a chance to see, what am I feeling? What are the sensations in each area of the body? And where do I need to pay some attention? And when you're ready, also take in anything that your head said to you, your mind was saying to you. I call it the monkey mind, trying to control everything. Just notice anything that your mind was saying to you, like this is wrong, or this is right, or you should feel this, or you shouldn't feel that. And keep noticing it, like witnessing all the messages, everything that was given to you by all the chakras at this moment in time, and then the messages that the mind was also trying to give you to change things or adapt or alter what you are essentially experiencing. And now you might slowly begin to open your eyes. And please note that your body is your true north. It will never lie to you. It will always tell you what you're feeling and what you're experiencing, what your sensations are. And your head may not. Your head may try to code it or change it or change things around based on, survival or what you think was right. Now, we like to talk about something called the whoosh, which Michael learned from a psychologist named Terry Real. To practice embodiment, it's really important to say when a whoosh happens. So somebody says something to you, or you're unable to speak your truth, or something happens at the office, whatever, and all of a sudden you feel this thing come over you. And the best, it's kind of, it's nondescript. It's just like whoosh.
I'm laughing because this is exactly what happened when it hit the time, like 3 p.m. our time, and nobody was in the room. And I was feeling a
whoosh. He's like, whoosh, whoosh.
I'm telling Lori, she's like, what? What? Said, nobody's in, nobody's here. There's nobody here. And then I got the email from you, and I went, oh, Christine, she emailed me.
Oh my God.
So yeah, whoosh.
Michael had a whoosh just before your very eyes.
I think that one hit me in the bottom.
In your butt?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's survival.
It was survival.
Survival, shame, guilt, fear. Those all live in your butt.
Yeah. So that was the thing that I think I learned. I love that part of what we do in the embodiment presence practices. So this is an incredible tool to use anytime. And by the way, it could take seconds. Like the moment you get a whoosh, you can acknowledge the whoosh. There it is. Oh boy, where's it at? And then you'll ping it. You'll know it right away.
Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
And then the way to use that, right, is to acknowledge it and then address it. And sometimes we don't know how, but that's why we have the Extraordinary Lovers experience. So we can teach you that kind of stuff. Those are the tools that are available there. So we have a story about Claire. Do you want to tell about Claire? She's amazing. Yeah.
So Claire came to our Extraordinary Lovers in Denver this year, and she's a very successful businesswoman, like definitely successful in her job, in owning her company, but she was really afraid to express her needs and desires. And after she came as a single to Extraordinary Lovers, and she left a goddess. Like she left, feel this hairdo and the whole thing like happened after the class.
Right.
She just took her, she said, oh, I have to look different. My picker is broken. I have to pick different type of partners. I didn't even realize that. And I have to be able to speak my truth and look and see what's going on in my body. Claire's like our biggest proponent now.
Yeah.
She's like amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
she wants to be able to receive love. She's ready.
She said so. She said, well, she says it in this quote too. So what I love about her is that like she started to see that she could complete herself and that she actually didn't need a partner to do that, but that in completing herself, then she starts attracting all these amazing people. So yeah.
And she opened a new business right after the workshop.
Yeah.
And she's flying. She's on fire.
She's incredible. Okay, so let's move on to secret number 3, and that is people need rituals to keep passion alive. And I can tell you this: if you don't schedule it, life will schedule disconnection for you instead.
But here's the thing: in business, you would schedule a business meeting because you know how important that is. But why wouldn't you schedule a love meeting? Like that's not as important. That's the most important thing. I mean, I grew up thinking love is more important than my business. And my business took over and became more important. And then we had to schedule.
Yeah. So anyway, your love needs more than just chemistry, you say?
It does. Chemistry is the thing that either attracts you or doesn't attract you. We didn't even get attracted by chemistry until you said you wanted to meet the goddess.
It's true.
Then I had to rethink it. I went, well, this guy has something to say. I felt a different kind of a whoosh. I felt like a turn on, like, wow, listen to this guy. He knows he wants to meet the goddess. That's me.
Mm-hmm. So one of the first things that she taught me was the bubble. It's a great ritual. Do you all know how to do the bubble? I think you probably
Lauren does.
All right.
I don't think Christine does.
So the bubble is really create what I like to call some
sacred space.
So number 1, rituals, they separate the ordinary reality from extraordinary reality. They're what creates sacred reality, and it's extraordinary. It also creates a container for a specific period of time, which means it's intentional. And the last thing is it knits whoever's inside the container, it knits them together. So it's spiritual in an essence. And when you put those 3 things together, the ritual actually will create something brand new for us. So when we created the bubble the very first time,
I said, we're going to do a bubble. And he's like, we're going to do a what? And I said, we're going to make a bubble. Just humor me. Like, just follow my lead. And he went, okay. Now we made a bubble right before we came on. We made a bubble even when we realized that there was a breakdown. We still made a bubble to be together when we're on this call with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And we make a bubble for intense conversations, clearing conversations, things we need to express to each other. If he says, I have a whoosh, I say, do you want to deal with it now? Okay, let's make a bubble.
Yep.
So we make a bubble.
Yeah.
And we sit in it.
And then when we're done, we pop the bubble. That's the time limit that you give it. That way it separates that period of space and time, reality from all the rest.
We make love in bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to show them the speed bubble?
Yeah, sometimes we forget, like we're getting kind of handsy and interesting together. And then we forget, and we're like, oh shit, we got to make a bubble. So it looks like this.
It's like a really fast bubble, but it still connotes that now we're in sacred space together. Absolutely. It's deliberate.
So here's the first step that we have. And this is when we're talking about making rituals. The bubble is an example of the ritual, and you can see how it has all of those components in it, right? So you want to create your own rituals and use them. Like, you can also go to spiritual guides, or you can go to tantra teachers like Laurie. You can go all different places to find these kinds of rituals. So here's the first ritual: take daily 5 to 15-minute connections. Those connections, when you have them scheduled at a specific time of day, they become super sacred. So in the morning, Laurie and I make it a point to come together,
Start the day.
to start the day together.
And we end the day.
We live in separate rooms. So we live in 2 different rooms.
That's a whole nother piece of what we teach, but we're not doing that right now.
So I sneak in to her room and I'll hold her and I'll just contain her. Or she'll come into my room and she'll say, okay, let's connect. Good morning. I love you. So it was sweet this morning. So that's one of the things. That's the first thing. Start with micro rituals. The second one is create some weekly devotional time. Take an hour for not just talking. You could do that, but to have intimacy. Like, make it intentional at least once a week. So if you're having intimacy other days of the week, make this one special, right? Do the bubble, make it a ritual, ritualize it. The next one is sacred communication. So these are quarterly check-ins. Like, how you doing? What's happening for you right now? And come into that place.
How's this time period been?
Yeah.
In relating.
Mm-hmm. Assessing, right?
Yeah.
And then also finding ways to support one another. Like, I've been struggling with this. Okay, well, what do you need support wise? How can I be a support? So these kinds of conversations once every 3 months is extremely important. It'll keep you on track with each other. It'll also help you to work on those things that are not the day-to-day. The day-to-day stuff we're doing all the time anyway, but then there are things that, like, will sit in the background and we'll go, I've been meaning to get to that. Well, you want to have a conversation during this time. The next one is annual visioning. This is where you, almost like with your company, when you go away for a week to do a conference, this is you taking your relationship on conference. And you're spending like a week together. We're going to, we're going to do it while we're doing other things.
We're going to Barcelona, Spain, Slovenia, and then we're going to Japan. In Japan, I'll be working, but in Barcelona and Slovenia, we have time to look and see what's going on with us.
So it's our annual check-in. It's not just a check-in, but it's also how we create our vision for the next year. Like, how do we want to be in 2026? What do we want to be up to? What's the difference we're going to make in the world? By the way, this is the third pillar, right? The third pillar being love that manifests. And so this is one of the practices. So all that put together, right? You find yourself with a love life purpose, not just a life purpose. A life purpose is great. You got to have that. Yes, I'm all about life purposes. But put together a love life purpose, and you guys have something extraordinary. So Janae and Claudius, they came to us in Austin, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why this slide is here.
I don't know. You just put it up and you were talking about something else. Whoosh.
Oh, whoosh. I have been through these slides like 50 times in the last 2 days.
Anyway, they first said that this was the wrong time for them.
Yeah. And
financially, they didn't know if they could make it. And then Janae convinced him that they should come. Janae's been to something with me before, but he hadn't. He hadn't been to anything.
That's true.
And she said to him, we're going to this. We're putting the money aside. We're going. And they came, and it's shifted a whole bunch of stuff in their relating. And Claudius had the time of his life with us. So it was wonderful.
He's amazing. This is the one I think we should. So if you just had weekly.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, that just like.
I don't know.
Anyway, we talked about that.
It's our first time doing it, so laugh with us or at us, one of the two. Anyway, yes. If you just had weekly devotional time, do you think things might be different? Like, if you could just put together a few of these things that we've mentioned: 5-minute cuddle, a full evening of just sensuality, or maybe a lottie hon. Yeah, or take it on the road. Maybe a staycation in a city nearby, or maybe Spain and Japan, right?
Right.
Do you think that could make a difference? That's the question. So Extraordinary Lovers method was created for couples who feel more like roommates than lovers. I have them all written over here, honey. You can help me out.
And partners who've tried therapy and still feel stuck.
Yeah.
Or high achieving couples like the Dins that I noticed before, like who they can't connect because they're so busy. It's happened to me. Like I've been on the board of a company, of an organization for 2.2 years and 8 months. And I have felt numb, stuck, bracing,
Whoosh.
resistance. I felt I was stalked by somebody. I've never had enemies before in my whole life. There might be some people who don't like me as much as some other people, but I've never had enemies.
Yeah.
I had an enemy stalking. He even wrote to the latest one was he wrote to where we were presenting in New York City. Lauren, you were there. He wrote to that whole organization, Tantra Loft, and all the things, Tantra speed dating, all the facilitators. Some of them don't even know me. This person wrote nasty things about me. So it's been like it's stressful. So getting to get through the struggle and could still connect at home is challenging when that kind of pressure is on somebody.
So we also serve people in long-term relationships who want to reignite their sparks. Oh, great. I told you to turn off your phone.
But he didn't.
But
break down wood.
Whoosh.
So
Whoosh. All right. Also, those in crisis, they feel like they're one argument away from a breakup, you know. And then the other people we serve are
curious people who are growth oriented, who are committed to transformation no matter what, or singles ready to go deeper and find out what's in the way of them not being able to meet someone that is their person. Also singles who we've met a lot of resigned people who are resigned, like they're just not going to do this anymore. They're not going to be in a relationship. If that's not you, you definitely know. You have friends who are like that. I have friends who are like that.
Yeah.
They don't want to go on dating sites. They're so abysmal. And they're just afraid. You were like that. Actually.
I was, yeah. I so was. Yeah.
He was. And so, yeah.
Yeah. That's the right slide. So let me ask you a question. So far today, we've gone over a bunch of stuff, right? The method that we use, Extraordinary Lovers method. We talked about the 3 pillars. We talked about the 4 practices and how an extraordinary partnership could be built from that. We even walked you through the exact frameworks we use to help hundreds of couples reconnect. So I want to ask you this. Could you use some help with your relationships? Like, how many of you would love some help putting all this into action? You know, how many feel like this is what I needed and I don't want to figure out I don't want to figure it all out on my own. So if that's you, would you be okay if I took a few minutes to walk through a very special offer that we created just for you? And if that's okay with you, just nod your head. We'll take a few minutes.
I got this.
You got this?
I saw thumbs and fingers.
Yeah, I saw thumbs up.
Okay, great.
Where are no thumbs down? So I want to talk to you about the Extraordinary Lovers Experience. This is our flagship program. It's 4 days long. It's an immersive retreat. And the Extraordinary Lovers Experience, it's something that we like to hold in a luxury location or a beautiful location that really keeps you safe from distractions, whatever else is going on in your world. So it's designed for couples and singles. So we have a mix in our program, which is kind of unique.
We find out that they learn from each other, so it's much better. We tried it together at first. Then a marketing person told us we should separate couples from singles. And you know what? That didn't work as well. And so we don't listen to the marketing people anymore. We're just doing it together.
We do what works.
And we see that people learn from each other. So,
Yeah.
It's
really incredible. So we have a very, I guess you could say, we have a really different methodology, what we do. And the next Extraordinary Lovers Experience is going to be happening in December 11th through the 14th in Phoenix. And so let me just share with you. Why is it so special? Oh, let me read this. Over the years, Laurie and I have watched countless couples walk into an Extraordinary Lovers Experience, and they're like disconnected. They're all, their relationships are blown up. And some of them are so numb from just the years of going through like life that by the end of the weekend, they're not roommates, they're lovers. Like they're full on, they're reigniting the desires. They're bringing in that emotional intimacy that they had once.
And like physical.
Life has, it takes on this whole new thing. So anyway, so they leave with the tools that they need. What is this? I'm trying to find this. I don't understand why this popping up. Okay, whoosh. So anyway, that's the power of this work. I'm whooshing all over the place today. So here's what you're going to be able to do.
I'm sorry, I have to go out after this.
I'm going to pop through this really quickly.
I should just stay with you.
You? Why?
Yeah. I don't know. You're whooshing a lot. All right.
I'm doing silly things here. So reignite the spark with the real world tools that we offer you. You're also going to build a partnership rooted in self-love and emotional maturity. And you get to master communication in new ways, like sacred ways. So there's a lot that happens here.
Also some tantra without the woo.
Yep, absolutely. So what do you get to replace?
You replace conflict cycles with clear, compassionate communication. And you replace emotional shutdown with presence, openness, and like you're deeply connected without feeling fear of like, oh, they're going to go off on me. Also, stale routines out.
Yeah. And replace being roommates and become lovers again. All right, so the Extraordinary Lovers Experience. I want to explain to you what this is. Again, it's December 11th through the 14th.
In Phoenix.
It's in Phoenix. It's a transformative 4-day experience. It'll be held in Phoenix or one of the surrounding neighboring cities.
Well, actually, Christine knows whose house it's at.
Oh.
It's going to be at Diana Costain's house in Mesa.
It's in Mesa.
I've been there.
Like gorgeous, right?
Yeah,
He has a beautiful pool and tortoises.
Yes. Yeah. On-site tortoises. So, and during the weekend, what you're going to get with it is continental breakfast. We're going to have a chef prepared lunch and dinner every day. You also get guided practices, rituals. You'll get the exercises that we've talked about. You'll get expert coaching on the fly, like in real life. We're gonna teach you how to communicate authentically and navigate those challenges, and then you'll get tools and strategies to keep passion and connection alive after the experience. And then the all-inclusive support. It's not all-inclusive. That's the wrong word.
All-inclusive means it's at a resort. It's not at a resort.
No, this means everybody's included. In other words, this doesn't matter what your relating style is.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Right? Yeah, that's what I mean by it. And I got to change that word, but
you don't care. We don't care about people's relating style, their gender preference, their sexual preferences. We just care that people want to be together. And even if they don't have a partner, we care that they want to be in partnership.
Absolutely.
So we don't really discriminate against somebody's lifestyle choices.
Right. That whole package for the 4 days is valued at $34.97 per person. Now, let me put this up here. All right. So we thought about this and we're like, what else do you need to make sure that you have the love you deserve? And we put together a journey. And what this is a 6-week coaching program that's group coaching after the program. We do weekly Zoom calls. They're an hour long. You'll also get exclusive access to online content, stuff that Laurie and I put out there, videos, etc. You'll get private online community for support and accountability. And then you'll have advanced practices and integration exercises during that 6 weeks.
Because we found that if people don't have a follow-up program, they have this peak experience and then
it's out. Yeah.
They forget.
Yeah. Here's another couple.
Back to Claire.
Yeah.
This couple has been together for 46 years.
Yeah.
They've done every single program that we have, and they find that it just keeps them fresh, and they don't harbor resentments for each other, and they sign up for everything. They just absolutely love each other and want to stay with fresh energy towards each other. We were just with them. We celebrated their 46th anniversary with them.
It was amazing. So you're probably thinking, I don't know if I have time for this, right? I don't know. Life gets busy. You might worry that like, oh, it's going to be super intrusive. We've designed it so that it'll fit into your life and it'll enhance your life. So what you'll do is you'll get weekly connection points, bite-sized practices, simple things that you can practice throughout the week, and ongoing support to stay with us, stay without overwhelm. And so what you're going to get here is the 4-day Extraordinary Lovers experience and the Extraordinary Lovers 6 weeks journey. That is a total value. You see two numbers up there. $59.94 is for like if you're single, and $94.91 would be the total value for couples for two. Thank you.
Or you could be a throuple. We've had that too.
Yeah, twice. So
we don't care.
What else do you need to make sure you have the love you deserve, right? The next thing that we put together was we figured, look, 1 hour post-retreat private coaching with Laurie and me. And we're going to walk you through like the ins and outs of the things and try to find out like where were you or what came up inside of the program that you weren't able to resolve during the program. So we can get you on the right road, or we can point you in a direction that will start to serve you in your relationship. I think it's one of the things that really helps to get past, right? Those what do they call them? Road bumps?
I call them speed bumps.
Speed bumps.
Yeah.
So here's what you get. You get the hour private Zoom session with us, and you're going to get expert eyes on what's working and what's not. You're going to be able to move through any resistance or stuck spots post-retreat. You get to reconnect with the magic of your transformation. We're going to go back and bring your memory back to what was it that you really got on that day and what's it like. And then we're going to use that to prepare and create a new future. And that's the vision that you both would create together eventually. So again, these two have done everything with us.
But she dragged him there. So I noticed that two of you are on this call and your partners aren't.
Yeah.
And this woman dragged her husband to us like that. He was like this.
And he's 6'7".
So he stood there and he went, you two, I'm really skeptical. I don't know that I don't know. She made me come, and so I'm here because of her. And now he's the one that calls us and says, what's next? Yep. Let's do something. Yeah. Figure it out. When can you come to see us or whatever?
John is amazing. So it works. And so what are you going to get? You get, again, the 4-day Extraordinary Lovers experience. You get the Extraordinary Lovers 6 weeks journey. You'll get the 1 hour private coaching. And that value takes it up to $65.91 or $10,000. But I'm sure you're like, well, okay, what else?
Yeah.
All right. What else do you need? Well, how about some community, right? How about a community of people that are just like you who are also in this work and they're doing it and they're committed to each other, right? That's what Laurie Handlers Inner Circle has. So not only does it have that community, yes, we have that, but it's also got trainings from years past. It also has Laurie's podcast. I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you know this, but she had a sex and happiness podcast for like 15 years. We have all those. What's that called? When you keep watching one after the other, after the other, after the other.
A series.
No, not the series. What's like a binge watch.
Some of them are on some of the audio.
Binge listen. But there's that. There's plenty of that stuff. So you get to listen and learn to those podcasts. You can also watch Laurie's movies that I mentioned she created. So those are in there as well. It's just exciting. So here's what you get. Yep. The love you deserve. And by the way, you'll get 3 months free in the inner circle. So here's what you get: the 4-day Extraordinary Lovers Experience, the Extraordinary Lovers 6-week journey, the $24.97 value, the 1 hour private coaching session, and the 3 months access to Laurie's inner circle. You tally all that up, and the value is like $6,700.
I'm starting to feel like really valuable.
You are. Are you kidding me? That could be a good whoosh.
It's a good whoosh.
Right? All right. Look, if all this did was just like give you repeatable ways back to love, to return to love, would it be worth it? Like, these are the questions I would ask. If it allowed you to finally feel safe expressing your truth and desires, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it if it gave you all the tools you needed to reignite your passion? And what if it gave you the sex life you deserve? Like, would it be worth it?
That alone.
So here's the thing. We had 2 choices. Our first choice was like, keep offering this and do nothing and hope that couples get it, like they figure it out themselves, like they're able to integrate all this work in. Or we put together something, we created something that's holistic, and that will allow the transformational journey to really take root into not only the body, but into the relating. And so it includes support practices and intimacy tools. That's going to create the love of a lifetime. So what's extraordinary love worth to you? John and Christina spent 46 years together. I wonder how much they spent on therapy. I know they're in therapy.
A lot.
How much on coaching? Like, how many of the things that Laurie have done and they've gone to?
And they've been divorced, both of them, too.
How much does divorce cost? It's too much, right? So how much would you pay to have the love you deserve, right? If the true cost of this, like inaction, would mean that you would have all the same things that you have, the cost of not doing this gives you more silence, more fighting, and more of the same sleeping back to back and feeling like, you know what, I don't like this person. And divorce is expensive. So this isn't a cost, it's an investment. And you can see why it's a good deal at $10,000, but we're not going to charge that. Are you kidding? Here's the deal we got for you. This is the Love You Deserve package. And you'll get the 4-day intensive workshop. You'll get all of the bonuses included. And this pricing today is $21.97 per person. That's all you pay. And
thank goodness I could breathe again.
Now you didn't know how much it costs?
I forgot.
So you have 2 choices, right? First choice is do nothing, stay in the same patterns, keep fighting, keep feeling like roommates, nothing changes. Or you could say yes to a proven path. It's powerful. And we've taken this around the world and we've tested it to see that this works. And it's been working for thousands just like you. So you can wait, hit another bump, or you could do something that in the next few months could give you the love life you've always wanted.
And what to do when the bumps come.
That's right. By the way, we put this in because we feel like this is super important. We want to guarantee our work. And not just because it's our work, but because we really care about your transformation. So as you can see, after the 6-month journey, if you haven't seen a significant growth in your relationship, we're going to give you 3 additional sessions of coaching at no cost. So like I said, we don't want you to just have a great transformational experience. We want it to land and become solid in your life. So the real question is, how long are you willing to keep living disconnected? I'm reading this because this is the part where I didn't memorize it.
I would just say, if you want something different, this is it.
That's right.
If you don't want to be a statistic.
Yeah. So again, what you're going to get, all the things. And by the way, the first 3 people enrolled, you're going to get a bonus. We're going to give you something really special, a keepsake that you can have for the rest of your life, something that you can have your memories kept in. It's amazing. I found this thing and I got excited about it. And I thought this would be the perfect gift. So, what do you need to do right now? First thing you need to do is go out to checkout.extraordinarylovers.com, claim your spot, and really say yes. Say yes to yourself. Um, and when you do that, you'll get a series of emails, all the things hopefully will work.
Hopefully it'll work.
And if they don't,
the emails will
tell me so immediately. Like, please, I'm willing to feel the whoosh. We want to get this right. Right. So, but the other thing that you need to know is that on midnight on Sunday night, we're gonna take this down. So this is only good until Sunday night, midnight. So you have a little time to think about it. No, by the way, if you need to talk to somebody, you can book a call with one of our team, and they're experts, they're specialists. They've done the work. They're here working with us. We could book a call with you. Just let us know. Okay. Oh, last thing. No, not last thing. Close to last thing. This is the free gift we talked about. Okay. You can take a quiz to find out where you're at, to assess yourself, and you can go to 3hoursquiz.com, and it'll give you, it's a really comprehensive quiz. When you get done, you'll get a message that lets you know, hey, you are in love or you're in resentment. It looks like, based on your answers. It's really incredible. We've been working on this for, I don't know, a year, and we feel like this will help you to kind of maybe move back towards love. Like, if you're aware of it, you can then go, oh, I know what's going on. Whoosh, witness. Hey, we need to talk. Maybe that'll get you back to love a little faster. So take the quiz. But yeah, register now for just $21.97, and all the bonuses are included. And we're going to do questions now. So who has questions? Out of 1,000 people.
No pressure.
No pressure. Oh, it's so funny.
I'm glad we're laughing.
Yeah, me too.
It was really a great presentation. Thank you.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you might have got a job out of it.
There is that as well. But yeah, I'm not in a relationship currently, so there is no one else to be here.
Oh, good.
But
Well,
I mean, you nailed it right on the head. Bad picker, apparently. So, I need
Lori's
to
really
fix myself, fix my picker.
Fix your picker.
Yeah, I would love that. I remember how painful the separation was before. So
yes, that was my second ex-husband. So,
Yeah, I could see you could be a little gun shy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Not right now, really. It was great. It was a great presentation. And even just with, because I know the most current, relationship, if you want to call it that I was in, it was seeming like every time that there was an opportunity for us to connect and work through something, there was resistance. There was heavy resistance that was happening, from my partner. And then I was sitting there going, I wish I had better tools. I wish I had better tools to help us get through this. And I actually said that because I was like, I know we can do this. I know we have what it takes. We're just not communicating effectively. We're not doing what we need to do. So this, already is a help. And I can't wait for your book to be published. I did read Love and Happiness. I have it still in my Kindle and love it. And I go back to it periodically. I forget about it, but then I see something of you guys online. I'm like, oh, I got to look at that book again. So
thank you.
I'm excited for the next book to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are too.
Well, I want to say to you that, a lot of one of the biggest resistances is shame, because people feel like they don't know how to work it out in their relationship. And that's the point. Like, it's not your fault. Like, that's why I blame Walt Disney. because all of us have the same like we should know how to live happily ever after, but we never learned one thing that would make us do that. And for the most part, our parents didn't provide good role modeling either, even if they stayed together. Like mine stayed together for 50 something years, but they didn't. I know how much they swallowed down and didn't deal. So it's not your fault.
Yeah.
And thank you for saying that. It would have helped that you needed the tools. Like it's so clear that. So thank you. Thanks so much. And we're speaking on Monday, I think, or Tuesday. So we'll speak about what we need behind the scenes here too.
Yeah.
We already have a date on the calendar.
That's
So
great
good.
news.
I always
Good.
recommend not running it yourself so that you can operate in your genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ring that bell.
Ding.
But we'll talk. We'll talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Lauren, anything for you?
Oh, I guess I have maybe a few things. So one is, what do you do when your partner is not really into transformational work, has never been to therapy, has never done any work on themselves at all? I feel like there may be a lot of resistance from him with just this stuff. Like I've done ISTA and all these things, and like he just doesn't get it. He's very new to all of this stuff. So yeah, what do you do when like you're with
He
someone that
came to something. He came to something with you the other night. How did he
you
feel after
did?
that?
Well, we got into a fight after,
Oh no.
but it's okay. But you know, like he wants to be with me and he knows that stuff like this is like important to me, so he shows up for it. But you know, like he likes baseball, so I'll go to baseball games with him, you know. But this is a little bit different than just going to a game or a concert, you know what I mean? Like this
Yeah.
is inner
This is
work.
an investment. Yeah, it's inner work
Yeah.
and investment in like the future.
Yeah.
There's the interest. Well, okay, let me say it this way. There are interests and then there are values.
Hmm.
And one of the things that Lori and I did when we first came together is we evaluated our values. Like she loves to dance. I like to dance. That's an interest.
For me, it was not optional.
She was like, you have to, but then there are values beyond that that have they sort of have a higher arc, I don't know, hierarchy.
Yeah,
One of those is for us
transformation.
transformation, personal growth. To us both is a 10. We meet at that level. And then there are other things that we meet at as well. And so when we evaluated our values and we were clear, wow, we meet each other, then it made it so much easier for us to move forward. Chances are, and I say this cautiously, you may not have a values meet here in this particular like topic.
But wait, I would say that she should invite him to have a conversation
Right.
with one of us. Like he came to the thing the other night, so obviously he was open. You got into a fight, but maybe in fact you could recommend to him to have a convo with us.
It's possible that nobody has ever explained to him why personal growth is so important. It's vital, right? Nobody's ever said to him, hey man, you know how much money you spend on yourself is going to show something about yourself. Like if you go to the gym, you're spending $150 a month for that. It shows in your muscles and the way you look.
These are the same. These are the muscles of emotion. These are the muscles of relating.
So maybe just nobody's ever had that conversation with him. Have him give us a call. We'd love to talk to him.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's
I mean,
one
you
thing.
can't. I don't think you can survive on baseball and baseball hot dogs. Do you know what I mean? Like, there has to be some more to it for you. It may be fine for somebody else, but for
Are
you,
you a mustard and sauerkraut girl? Or...
Sure. I guess the other thing too is like, so I notice that when I bring something up, Like when I'm like, oh, I'm upset about this thing. I think I mentioned it last time. He gets defensive and dismissive. Um, and I was kind of in a place where I'm like, I might break up with him because I can't, if I'm trying to tell you I'm upset about something and then now you're upset, then I'm upset, and now you're in your feelings. And now I almost feel like now I kind of have to manage your feelings and I have to like validate your feelings, but it's like
Yeah.
I'm the one who was upset in the first place. So it's just like, okay, now we're both upset. And I'm like, I don't know if like I've always been in a relation, like I haven't been in a lot of relationships, but every man that I've been with, like the first relationship I had, he was emotionally abusive. He also was dismissive and defensive. Here, okay, I'm with another man who gets defensive and dismissive. Is it emotionally abusive? No. But I'm also like, want I don't want this. Like I want someone who can like hear me out and me be able, and I know it's hard, because you get probably feel a lot of shame and guilt when you hear your partner's upset, but it's like what do you do? And because then I also
Does it, was it you often say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but is it you often say, we were never taught how to be in
We were
relationships?
never taught how to be in relationships. It's clear just by what you're saying. And men know less than women.
Yeah.
They know they don't talk about anything with each other
Mhm.
except baseball, and they don't. They're emotionally not educated at all.
It's
So it just sounds like he needs an opportunity. Like what I would point out to him, I would just say this happened the other night too when we were in New York with a totally different couple. I would point out to him, that's chapter 2, I think, or 3 in my first book. Your person is your mirror. So he picks you. He picked you because you mirror something that he doesn't exhibit. And like he wants that in you, but he doesn't know how to have that in himself. And maybe it just needs to be pointed out to him. Like I pointed this out to somebody, and the person completely shifted towards their partner when I said, "Well, you chose her. She chose you and you chose her. She's your mirror. So what is it that you don't want to look at?" And the next thing we knew, this person was like calling his person and saying, "I want you in my life. I don't want anything to destroy it. I didn't realize."
Yep.
So sometimes it just needs to be pointed out to somebody point blank.
That's so good.
Like
Wow.
you pick this person, you want to be in a relationship. Whoever you pick is going to be your mirror. So you pick this one. Why?
Yeah.
Where are you not owning your part? Where are you not allowing yourself to feel things? And even if you're new at it,
Mm.
get like give this a chance. Like there's not any woman on earth that's not going to feel like that. It's just that some aren't going to say it.
That's right.
But you're very well trained, so you are going to say it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yay for you.
Yeah. How I see this is there's an opportunity for a real love to blossom, right? And it's easy to cancel other people in this day and age. It's so easy. But I think sometimes what we just need to do is ask the question, hey, do you want it to be extraordinary or do you want to be ordinary? And Lori and I did not learn from our parents or others how to be in relationship.
No.
And so the work that we did, right, part of the problem that you're having with him is that he doesn't want to do that kind of work. The work that we did actually did give us this. So what I'm getting at is this. When we have someone in our life that we love and the difficulties that are like always there are giving us reasons to go, I'm done. Those are the real reasons that we could turn something into a miracle.
Yeah, I would say to him, I want to make something happen with you.
Yeah.
I care about you so much. We have such great attraction. I would say all the positives, and then I'd say, and in my life, what I value is.
Mm-hmm.
I think you heard me tell the story about him defrosting meat, and I think I told that
Yeah.
story. And I value not throwing food out. And he had a whoosh because I said you defrosted too much meat. I mean, the point is, I've said to Michael over and over again, we have a shot what we feel for each other is special. We have to find a way to work this through. And this is what's up on the planet. This is not just you two. This is not just us two. And it isn't Christine, it isn't you and who you were with. Also, you have two boys. So, like, it's up for them. You know what I mean? On the planet.
3.
You have 3. Oh, I thought you had 2. So, this is what's up between men and women right now. And in order to survive, in order for the species to survive, we all need to look at this.
Yeah.
We really all need to look at this, that we weren't taught anything and that avoiding it, he's going to try and get in another relationship. He might as well try to work it out with you. If you break up with him, he's going to hurt for a while and then he's going to try and find somebody else, at least for sex. And then all of the stuff is going to come up again. Intimacy, emotional closeness, everything. So I would give him the college try on this.
Yeah. I mean, he showed up the one night. I'm sorry you got in a fight. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope he didn't ruin it for you.
Oh, no. It wasn't like it wasn't because of the talk that we got into a fight. It was just like something happened in one of the exercises, and then I was like, oh, like you didn't hold space for me, and you didn't, the bucket thing of the puja.
Yeah.
So I was telling, like, when it was my turn to spill the bucket, he interrupted and started talking about his thing.
Oh, my God.
He didn't know that. I got it.
Yeah. So then but he does this a lot where like I'll talk and then he'll interrupt me and start talking. So I finally was like, hey, like you didn't hold the bucket for me and we didn't let me finish. And then as we were getting on the train, like he interrupted me again as I was explaining my thing. And I just said, you interrupted me again. And he thought I said it with an attitude. I didn't think I said it with an attitude. And then we started to a huge thing. And then other things I was upset about started coming up. And then I walked off the train.
God, that sounds familiar.
So dramatic. I was like, I'm not doing this. You're dismissing me. So I left and like went back home. Like I ran off the train and then like
Oh my God.
texting. And then I spilled all these things I was holding in. So, it was just like I was holding a lot of resentment when we came to the class. And then I just started pouring things out. And we're like in a better place now that I said all of that. And now he's noticing when he interrupts people because I'm not the only one he does it to.
Great.
So now he's starting
so you got a positive piece.
You got a positive result.
I would tell him that you went on the call today and that you'd like to do this and you'd like to do it with him. Is he willing to invest? And see what happens. And if he isn't, then say they said they'd be happy to speak to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love it, but I love it. It's what's up. It is what's up. Even in people who are highly trained, it's what's up. It's really
what's happening.
It's what's up. So
we're going to go now. So, but thank you for joining us. Really, truly, we really appreciate you. And
Thank
we're looking
you for the private session.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're so glad we got to be able to do it.
I'm so blessed.
I feel blessed too.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna pop the bubble.
All right, you ready?
And then we're gonna go. We'll speak to you soon, Christine. I know I'll speak to you very soon.
Yeah.
And please take advantage of this.
Yeah.
Of this offer and also of like the opportunities for him to speak to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if you need
love.
to book a call, definitely. Okay.
Much love.
Right.
Thank you.
Have
a wonderful evening.
Thank you.